Hello, all, good morning. Thanks for joining today for this uh, Terraform meeting. Okay, Terraform. Anyone has any idea about Terraform? Something like anyone can say that. Let me share my screen. Anyone is having any idea about Terraform? Anyone has worked in Terraform anytime? You can say it in chat, or you can just unmute your phone and you can start speaking. That will be nice. Hello. Speak something so that I can know that whether you know about Terraform or something, or all can hear me. Can you hear me or something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, no problems. Okay, so Terraform, let me talk about Terraform first, then we will go to the some of the labs and all I would like to show you. It will be much interesting when you would like to learn the Terraform. Terraform is like an automation tool. It's an automation tool. Automation in the sense it comes in the DevOps, you can just say, or it's coming on development and operations side, I can say that. And why do we use the Terraform and what is the benefits of Terraform? Without Terraform, what will happen? With Terraform, what all the things are going to happen? It like that. So we are going to talk about this time today. And Terraform is actually, you may think that the Terraform is only for the people who are doing the programming or something like that. It's not in that way. It's quite easier to learn. I'm telling you, like it's very easier to learn, and you can start implementing the projects through Terraform. To implementing the projects in the sense on cloud platform, on premises, or off the cloud, like private clouds or public clouds, wherever you would like to implement this particular projects or something like that, you can go with the Terraform. Until now, what we were doing that we were doing it with some kind of other DevOps tools like Jenkins or Ansible. We were using that, a lot of Ansible we've been using that. So what is the difference between the Ansible and Terraform? And who made this Terraform? How the Terraform has come up to the picture like that? People have started talking about the Terraform too much, and they would like to have that informations about the Terraform and how good is the Terraform and how much is having the hold in the market, in the public level market or something like that. So these are all the things which we are going to talk about today. Terraform is, as I told you, this is a DevOps tool, and we can download and we can install it in any platform, either in Windows platform, Linux platform, or Mac OS platform. Also, we can install, and the Unix platform is also been there. So mostly people are nowadays they are working on Windows or in Linux platform only. So it is possible to install it in any platform, and we can start coding that. Coding in the sense, please don't worry. It's not about that very much hardcore coding. You just need to do that because a lot of help is available inside the coder in the coding program. I can just say there is a program called IntelliJ. Is IntelliJ. That IntelliJ will be helping us to write the code on Terraform. Somebody joining, let me admit them. Okay. And that IntelliJ will be helping us to write the code for Terraform, and the Terraform will be understanding the code whatever it has been written on the IntelliJ. There are so many editors are available in the world, so we can use any editor, but I would like to suggest that please go with that IntelliJ IDE. That is intelligent, something like that. It goes like developing environment, something it comes up. It's a tool. I will be showing you that how the tool is looking like and how to configure with that, the Terraform scripts like that, I say. So basically, I would like to say that if you like to come to the Terraform and implementing the projects and all like that, if you come with basic Linux skills, would be good. Would be good. I'm telling that if you don't have that Linux skills, also it is okay. If you have done something on the coding on PowerShell in Windows platform, that would work. Or in the Linux, if you have done something on a shell scripting side, that will also be work. So some kind of a scripting knowledge is required. Either if you have already started doing some scripting on this and you started developing on this and all, it's quite good there. But scripting in the sense you may have to learn all the syntax over there. Here, there is no much syntax as such. Here we will be having all the suggestions whichever it is coming up, like directly we can go and select it up. And the basically the JSON, maybe knowing about JSON script, we've been doing a lot of time, like Java script object notifications on that goes of JSON scripting. JSON scripting we've been doing a lot of time. So the same JSON scripting has been utilized in the Terraform also. And Terraform has been written in a code called HCL language. HCL means a HashiCorp coding language, something like that. It goes on. The company has created this Terraform software has created their own coding, their own language, something like that. But it goes very much in 100%, compatible with the JSON scripting and all. So it's very easy for us to learn that if you know the JSON scripting already, because we've been doing a lot of projects on the cloud platforms, AWS and GCP, Google Cloud, and as well as in the Azure Cloud also, we've been doing a lot of JSON scripting on this. Either JSON scripting you'll do or YAML scripting you'll be doing that. So scripting is mandatory. You should know the scripting, or you should learn the scripting to understand the Terraform. So the Terraform, which has been there for quite a long time in the market, last 2-3 years has been there, and they are gaining very much in momentum of this because automation comes up very much in demand nowadays. So automation, everybody is talking about automation. Network automation is there, application automation is there, project automations are there, cloud automation is there, infrastructure automation is there. Like, so whenever you go for an automation, something like that, it just requires some certain tools. Like when you talk about the automation on AWS cloud platform, we'll be having the cloud formation is there. Okay, that is called as a cloud formation. There is a little bit of automation on the AWS cloud only. We can write the code only for AWS inside the cloud formation. Then you can run that script. It will be working on the clouds, AWS cloud only. When you go to the Sumit has entered. Okay, admit. When you go to the like Azure platform or something like that, you require to know about the resource managers. Azure Resource Manager. It is called as Azure RM. It called. That is an automation which is available on the Azure platforms, Microsoft Azure platform. When you go to the Google Automation Manager, something is there. Through that only we will be able to write that. So when we are looking for an automation on certain cloud, we require to learn about the certain cloud's own automation tools or something. Terraform is breaking all the barriers. Terraform will be sitting in like a common platform. There you will be creating all the scripts on the Terraform. Then you will be able to apply it on any cloud you want. Same code can be applied to all the 3 or major cloud platforms which you can see. Even you can do the writing code for VMware platforms also. It is possible. VMware in the sense I'm talking about VMware, NSX and other people are talking. So that way also we can go for infrastructure as a code line. So this course, this particular topic which I'm going to discuss about that is like infrastructure as a code. Means we are creating a lot of infrastructure. Infrastructure includes the servers, network, databases, applications. Like we are doing a lot of projects on the infrastructure. Creating servers like Linux servers and Windows servers, creating databases, Oracle database, or Amazon databases are there, or like many other MariaDB databases, so many databases which we are creating. Those are all coming under the infrastructure platforms. So when you go for an infrastructure platform and you would like to make the infrastructure as a code in the sense you are going to write a script to make your infrastructure ready. In the previous years and all, what we do, we will be collecting all the hardware, so we will connect them all properly, assemble them and connect them into the network. Then we'll make it ready. We'll load the OS on that, applications on that, database on that. We'll create the database engines and other things. Then we will start running on that. It may take a month for you to finish. More than a month also it is possible because acquiring takes a lot of time. You just need to go through a lot of vendor documents and you finalize your quote, and the quote need to be talked to the vendors, and the vendors has to approve with your own budget things and all like that. So it goes on and on. Like, it's not an end of the story. So it takes a lot of time for us to finish one project. So it may take at least 6 months also possible. So here we are writing the infrastructure as a code for like within an hour, not even an hour. can just say if you collected all the information about that, how to create the machine in AWS, how to create the Windows server in Azure platform, or in a Google Cloud platform, or in a CenturyLink platform. Many platforms are there. Public clouds are so many. If you know that what are the like specifications which they're using, that if you just pick it up and you start writing on the codes on the Terraform, within 10 to 15 minutes your code is ready. You can able to apply that code in the any platform which you like. So the things are ready. Infrastructure as a code. That's what we are talking about here. The Terraform is doing a wonder thing for. It is automating, not only automating, it is easing our. It is it is making it easier for us to work on a cloud platform. By joining, it is easy for us to make the to work on a cloud platform. Not only the cloud, I'm telling you, we can talk about the private clouds also, like which we are creating our own VMware environment. There also we can create the Terraform, documents, Terraform scripts we can write on that. So Terraform is much in demand, I would like to say, because the market is looking for a Terraform professionals. Earlier we've been using that, Ansible. Ansible still been used for a network platform so much, but when it comes to the infrastructure in the sense like that, we have some problems with the Ansible. So we can do it on Ansible also, but Ansible is also been there in the market. Terraform is one of the language. You can just take it like that. Terraform is also been there as a competitor like that. You can just say. But again, Terraform is an open source like Ansible. You can create your own code inside. That's possible. It's completely open source. So it's an open source platform. They are providing it. If you like to go for a personal Terraform copy, you can have it, or you can have that enterprise copies also. Means you will be getting the help from the Terraform professionals when you get into your enterprise platform. When you run into any problems like that, when you try to create your own projects, building bigger project, I'm telling, like near about 140 countries, 150 countries other than MNC, you would like to create a code for them. Like so, you require a lot of patience as well as the knowledge is required. And when you run into the problems, like when you break the code is getting broken in between, in the sense you require some help. So if you like to take a help like an enterprise mode, it is possible they are providing the help for us. So for that, they will charge for that. But if you like to do the Terraform as the free platform, it's definitely free. We can download, we can install it. It's a very simple code, like around 50 MB only. The entire program comes like a Terraform. We can install it in the Windows platform. We can run it from that particular directory. We can create the codes. We will create the projects. Inside the projects, we'll be creating the codes and we'll keep it. Then we'll be running it with like the commands of Terraform init. Init means initializing. Once it is initialized, it will find out the problems in your code. Otherwise, it will start reporting something to that. And it will be talking to the providers. Means the provider, I'm telling about the cloud provider, or maybe the third party provider. It will be talking to the provider and it try to download the latest patches and other things, and it will download. It may take only a minute for to download and other things. Like whenever we try to initiate any project, we have to run the command Terraform init. Once you run that, then it's been ready. Then we can go for plan, Terraform plan. This is like what is say the way of steps like that. I just say step 1, step 2, step 3. Like step 2 will be doing the Terraform plan. Terraform plan will tell you like what things can this particular code is going to do that. Whether we are going to create it or destroying it or modifying it or saving it or removing it, whatever it may be, whichever the code is going to do that, it will try to read the code and it will try to tell us that what this particular code is going to do. If you are making any mistakes and all, it will start throwing error and it will come out. So we have another chance for that to go back to rectify the code and come back and run again. Once everything is goes smoothly, then it will come back to the prompt saying that everything perfect code, nice. We can go ahead. Then we will be doing Terraform apply. When you say Terraform apply command, then it will ask confirmation that whether I can go ahead or not. You say yes. Either you can say yes or you can say no. When you say yes, then it will go start creating the resources which is on the target platform, either in Azure or in AWS or in VMware or in Google Cloud or in CenturyLink, any clouds like that, it will go do that. So this is like a small, what do you say, like how the working has been done like that. I just told you. So let us go through these slides. I guess all can see my slides. So there is a lot of, like some theoretical part is there. So you should understand that what Terraform can do. What is Terraform? This I took everything from the terraform.io site because it is completely free. I made this document yesterday only. So we've been working on this Terraform for last 1 year. I can just say on 1.5 years we've been working on. My teams were working on that. And I got a chance with working on the Terraform because we are all working on a cloud platforms and the VMware platforms, every other platform. Like I work on some ISP like. So Terraform is also one of the tool that it's a new girl in the streets. So we will just need to see that. So like that, we are going to see that today now, like the what is the Terraform and other things. So let me go through the slides so you will get some good idea about that. I just given you like the basic things about the Terraform. I just told you, but now I'll go through the what about the terms whichever they are trying to talk and what are the technical jargons involved. So you can go through all these things. Let me go through this slide. Let me start that. What is Terraform? You can see in my screen. Terraform is a tool used for changing, building, versioning infrastructure efficiently and safely. It is used for managing existing and popular service providers or custom in-house solutions. It is not only that you are going to create something new, which has been already implemented on the cloud platform or on premises. We can even pull them for to maintain them through the Terraform. That is also possible. The next, the components running for a single application or entire data center configuration files describe to Terraform. That's what I was telling. Entire 140 countries, if you like to write a code for that, then it will be like a Terraform. Terrific form, that's called Terraform. I'm sorry. Okay, execution plan is being generated by the Terraform, which defines what it will do to reach the desired state and then executes it to build the described infrastructure. That's what. Init, plan, apply. That's what they're talking about, the plan here. What is Terraform? Like say Terraform infrastructure as a code. That is what Terraform. What Terraform is going to do? It is going to do as like a code. It is going to create it. Sorry, I guess I come back. Yeah, code. It is going to create that. Somebody is waiting again. I'll make them ready. Okay. It is going to create the code infrastructure as a code like that. So we are not going to deal with anything on a hardware or something like that. We will be dealing with only the software coding. Whatever you are writing on your laptop will be get created as an infrastructure as a magical things. It's create an infrastructure for you. Like that is what the code. It is a tool to manage virtual server life cycles. AWS, VMware, Google Cloud, CenturyLink Cloud, Microsoft Azure Cloud. These are all public cloud I'm talking about. VMware is a private cloud. We can create that. In our own laptop, we'll be creating VMware workstations now. With that also, we can create that. We can do it some kind of Terraform coding and other things. It is tool to manage the supporting services also. See, it can do managing of DNS servers, email servers, and other things. And it is a tool to manage the system services, MySQL, PostgreSQL, all the database applications also we can manage. Infrastructure involves everything like server, databases, email servers, DNS servers, DHCP servers, right? So many other services which we are running, web servers, like FTP servers and other things. Those all can be maintained by the Terraform. And the very important thing is that the configuration files can be in HCL or JSON. HCL is not Hindustan Computer Limited. This is here, it is like a HashiCorp coding language. They developed their own language, but it is 100% compatible with the JSON only. That's why it has been written as HCL or JSON. Either HCL or JSON. You can write it in JSON only, completely you can write in JSON code and you can run it in Terraform, it will understand. And created by the company called HashiCorp. They created the Vagrant previously. Vagrant is like a normal, what do you say? It's like a virtual platform, something it was. So Vagrant is also been created like that. So it has been written in Go. There is a language called Go is there. They written this Terraform in Go. Go means I'm not telling you to go, but it is written in Go language. Why Terraform? Why Terraform? That is a very important question. Why Terraform? There are so many other tools were there. Ansible was a beautiful. We've been doing. Ansible is very much in demand. All the network platform completely we are doing Ansible only. Today also I've run some near about 10 to 15 codes on that on Ansible. Ansible is easy to work on. Linux platform, perfect. So why Terraform? Why the Terraform has to be there in any place? First place, how does it can come? So main goal of DevOps is to perform more efficient software delivery, to make delivery efficient and quick. We need some tools in like Terraform, which helps companies with infrastructure as a code and automation. It is changing the DevOps world by changing the way the infrastructure is managed and makes faster and more efficient for executing DevOps. There are existing technologies like Ansible, Chef, Puppet. Chef and Puppet is actually out of the market. Chef has been not been used anywhere, many places. Puppet is also been gone because they are actually again Chef and Puppet is also open source platform only. See, day by day there are some new softwares are coming. Like we are in a position, if we are in a production something like that, we just need to learn what are the things are coming as a new, because people are started, because customer will be asking like, well, why don't you use Terraform? Because we've been going to standardize with our platform with a completely on Terraform. So we are in a position to learn the Terraform. So we are in Terraform like that. So there are existing technologies like Ansible, Chef, and Puppet for automating and provisioning software. But here it is more efficient and executing on the DevOps platform. Terraform also uses the same law, infrastructure as a code, but it targets on automation of infrastructure itself. Complete cloud infrastructure like instances, IPs, volumes, networking can be defined easily. This, when you are creating an AWS EC2 instance, you will be coming to very much in handy. Like that, you just need to know that what is the public IP assigned for the server, what is the DNS name has been given for this, and how do I reach that, what is the SSH, which key has been used for that, and what is the hardware parameters has been defined for that, what is the hard disk and what is the root volume, what is the data volume and other things. Everything can be controlled by this Terraform. We can write the code accordingly so that I can choose in the Terraform itself like that. So I don't need to worry about that what things are going to get built up when Terraform is running, because I'm going to control everything on the Terraform code itself. Like, so that's why Terraform. Advantages of Terraform: orchestration, not merely configuration. Orchestration softwares are so many. Orchestration in the sense how you are managing it. Like code has been already done. Okay, coding is the person who is doing the coding will be knowing about that. But once it is being implemented, then you just need to manage all these things. That managing and updating and removing and day by day managing things, like maintaining the things, those are all coming under the orchestration things. That is also possible on Terraform platform. Multi-provider, definitely it can work on any platform in the sense any cloud, public cloud platform, AWS, Azure, Microsoft, so many things. Immutable infrastructure, I will just tell you what is that immutable. There is a explanation comes in the next slides. Syntax is HCL, HashiCorp configuration language. I was just saying something else. Okay, anyway, HashiCorp configuration language, that is what HCL. Coding languages is no problem. Anyway, configuration language you can just say. Dry runs is possible. Dry run is nothing but like whether this code is going to break anything or is going to make anything. I just want to know about that, whether this code is going to run first of all or not. Means it is not going to touch any infrastructure at all. It will run it in your laptop and it will show whether it is going to make or break or problematic or something. That is called as a dry run. Client only architecture, super portability. We will be seeing all these advantages in detail in the next slides. Multi-provider. The most versatile feature of Terraform is that it supports multi-cloud orchestration like AWS, Azure, OpenStack, and other things. OpenStack has also been there. How many are working in OpenStack now? Because OpenStack is completely open source platform, which can be made for private as well as public clouds. Also, we can make that. And infrastructure we just need to take. Only the coding can be done on OpenStack. That's a different issue. Okay, immutable infrastructure. Terraform using an immutable infrastructure approach. That is means in every change in configuration leads to a separate configuration snapshot, which means deprovisioning the old one and deploying the new one. This feature is not available in earlier automation tools. It's not there. It is actually Terraform. That's why people are, try to go with the Terraform like that. So it is completely deprovisioning the old one and picking up a snapshot further, then it is deploying the new one like that. So it is doing a lot of background work for us so that we will not lose anything on the older things, and still we would like to keep something constructed on newly also. That is called as immutable. Then syntax is a HashiCorp configuration language, is a custom language that is used by Terraform. There is no need to worry. Don't be so afraid about that HCL language. I just need to learn another language. I just I have to learn the coding and all C, C++, something like that, Java, something. No, now where? If you know the JSON, you can work on. And moreover, the HCL has got every other command tools, every other what is that syntax has been completely inside inbuilt. You just need to revoke it. Sorry, you just need to invoke it. When you just type A, it will say that whether you want to go with the AWS or Azure, something like that, it will start suggesting it. So it is very easy for us to do that. Okay. I'm admitting another person. Okay. Dry runs. Terraform uses command known as Terraform plan, which creates an execution plan. By using this execution plan, we can check whether the set of changes meets the expectation without performing any changes to the real resources or state. State in the sense like whether making state, breaking state, that is called as a state. Remote state, local state, and all things. So dry runs are only nothing but like without touching the infrastructure at all. We will try to run it in our own local laptop, in our own machine, that whether this code is going to work or break or something. So that is called as a dry run. Next, client only architecture. In Ansible, this is done by connecting through SSH, but with limitations. Terraform works in APIs and have wide variety of options, which helps to make it more secure, reliable, and easy to use. So this difference you will definitely will see. So for portability, there are only a single tool and a single language for describing an entire infrastructure, which is used for multiple cloud providers. The problem of migrating to the vendors is not at all a problem. That is what super portability. And that's what I told you. Like one script, we can run multiple platform scripts and all this with the one script, with the only one page like that. I can just say every other cloud provider can have the portability commands and everything. We can just start doing that. That's easy. So this is about the what is the advantages of the Terraform. We've seen what is Terraform, why Terraform, what is made of Terraform, what is the advantages of Terraform. We just seen all. Then this, so these are all the providers which we are seeing: AWS, Azure, Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Kubernetes has also been there. We can automate Kubernetes through Terraform. This is the problem. We need to understand what is Kubernetes first. Then we can go for a Terraform, right? Kubernetes is like what I say. It's a master slave. We can create a lot of containers and nodes and other things. Control node and leader node and some slave node, something like that. We can create that. So everything is like all are like a managed platform only. So we can manage those things through the Terraform also. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Oracle Cloud is also there. Anyone knows that Oracle Cloud is there? We are mostly working in all the three on the ones in the top: AWS, Azure, and the GCP. Alibaba Cloud, that is also there. Chinese cloud, don't go there. Corona will attack. Okay. Anyway, people are using Alibaba Cloud. We try to reach this Alibaba Cloud. Every time it has been down only. I can't able to touch this and all the cloud. It's a very big problematic one. Don't leave it. But Terraform can work with Alibaba Cloud also. Okay. So mostly we've been working on three platforms, like the first three, this AWS, Azure, and GCP. So this is same like the diagram is something little bit different. Terraform is talking to Oracle, it's talking to Amazon, talking to Microsoft, it's talking to Google Cloud, talking to Kubernetes. Then this Terraform has been used in multiple variable, like what is say, these are all verified providers. The providers has verified the Terraform whether it can work in their platform. See, I am a network guy, like I am a CCIE networking and routing switching, which I done that. So you see that big IP is there. Big IP is nothing but a load balancer. The small thing is this big IP. So many platforms are there. You can just see. You can even find out that which platform you are currently working on. Maybe they're here. If you go to the Terraform.io, you'll be seeing thousands of providers, thousands of companies started. Like they start depending on Terraform and they certify Terraform that it can be done through the Terraform. So automation can be done through Terraform for these platforms also. Even Cisco has also been Cisco DevNet we can do with the Terraform. Okay, and this is I guess this is a Cisco maybe something is small. So how Terraform providers and modules are working? It's just a sample example of that. The left hand side you can just see now small diagram is there. AWS and other things are there here, and the Terraform is working on. This is something like we are doing the real life, and this is the modules and providers are here. So Terraform provisions, updates, and destroys infrastructure sources such as physical machines, virtual machines, network switches, containers, and much more. Configurations are a code written in Terraform using the human readable HashiCorp configuration language. Human readable, definitely. There is no mnemonics involved. There is no braces. Braces are there, but there is no coding in the sense like machine coding is not there. It's a configuration language, very much of a human reading. Very easily you can understand that. It's written in English. So like in English sentence, you can just read that. You can understand that. but you require a practice for to write the new code. If I'm giving you the code, you will understand that, okay, this is going to perform, this particular Terraform code will be performing this action. This kind of work it will be doing that. It will be creating certain code for me, like it will create some certain machine for me. Like, but when you start writing on your own code, you just need to have all the syntaxes come in handy for you. So the reading is very easy, but writing is like that you require a practice. I'm saying. Next, providers. Providers are the plugins that Terraform uses to manage those resources. Every supported service or infrastructure platform has a provider that defines which resources are available and performs API calls to manage those resources. So it is not using SSH, it is using API. API means application programming interface, application programmer interface. You can call it as like that. That is one of the interface through that we will be talking to the devices, the cloud providers, like all the things like modules. Modules are reusable Terraform configurations that can be called and configured by other configurations as well. Most modules manage a few closely related resources from a single provider. So modules will get downloaded from particular providers like that. If there is a new module has been there, new API configuration has been there for that particular platform. So the Terraform, when we are doing the Terraform init, it will download that module and it will run for us. Terraform registry. Terraform registry makes it easy to use any provider or module to use a provider or module from that registry itself. Just add it to your own configurations when you run the Terraform init. Terraform will automatically download everything it needs. It's like automation on automation. Automation on automation in the sense like, because this every provider has started writing their own code to fit in Terraform. So this piece of codes are available under the Terraform registry. You will go and search it based on the provider, maybe like Azure provider or Azure platform, AWS platform or Google Cloud platform. So they built their own small pieces of software, small pieces of code. That code you can just copy paste it in your own Terraform when you are building it. So that code itself will bring all the modules for you, automatically download and make it ready for you. So these codes you can find it in GitHub. GitHub, we can go and find out. So many people have started writing in the GitHub for Terraform platform. So earlier we used to find out some Ansible scripts are there, like that we just find. So like we can now find out on the Terraform scripts also available. Many people are writing. It's like because it is an open platform, so anyone can write on that. So if we create some very smaller little code for to bring up any applications on the AWS cloud, possible, we can write that and you can upload it to the GitHub and the people will be downloading that and they start using that. It's possible. Like that, so many entrepreneurs, so many individuals who are putting their own code on the GitHub under the Terraform platform. So we can go ahead and download all these things and we can, like we just need to modify certain things because he must be written that code on his own way of building the code or something like that. So we can modify that accordingly our own requirement and we can run that. I have done many things because I don't want to hide anything because we are getting the idea from those people only. So we build on our code, but we will just take some ideas from the Terraform side as well as from the GitHub sides. The next, multi-cloud cloud provisioning. How does it working? Before Terraform, it's like this, and after Terraform, it's very simple term. Only 3 steps are here. Here there are so many steps are involved on this. And reproducible infrastructure as a code. This is a workflow like a providers are here. The Terraform is building up on everything, infrastructure partners, and it has been taken from here and it's been built. All these things you can just see the symbols. This is a GitHub symbol, and this one is an Azure symbol, and I guess this is Alibaba. I don't know what's that. Maybe this is Jenkins. I don't like so many things are running on this. Here you can just see the providers here: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. Everyone is. VM is also there. Implications of the cloud operating model. Statically, when we are running, so my connection is saying that unstable something. Okay, sorry. Maybe like it will be coming up. So you can just see that dynamically when you try to something on a private cloud, in the sense vSphere will be using for development. For hardware, we'll be using the various hardware, IP hardware like that. Identify the AD and LDAP and other things. So what AWS is doing for certain applications, what Azure is doing inside for the applications. When in AWS, if you like to run a development, you require the EKS, ECS, Lambda. The same, you'd like to develop something on the Azure in the sense you require EKS, ACS, and Azure functions. GCP is like a cloud functions like that. So like we can use in vCenter dynamically in the power. It's a private cloud. In the private cloud, we can use a Terraform to run the provisions. That is what this particular slide is saying. This I took it from the Terraform site only. There is a white paper is there. I pick it from there. And unlocking the cloud operating model. So I've been discussing about the Terraform. There are many other software. Also, this Terraform company means HashiCorp has created certain, other softwares also. That is a vault is there. It comes under the security console. That is for the networking platform. Development platform. They have some running the development like that. Nomad has been there. So we are talking about this slide. This particular session is for Terraform only. You can just say we are talking about the provision and operations. Provision and operations we are doing them. Infrastructure as a code, compliance and management, self-service infrastructure. This is what we are discussing. When you would like to go for security automation, network automation, application automation, we can use these softwares as well. They try to promote their own product anyway. And we are talking about this Terraform now. And there's the same thing like with some other graphical representation has been done. Infrastructure, if you like to use, we will be using the Terraform. You can just see the equivalent things. Security, if you like to use, you will be using the Vault. Networking means you require console. Runtime means you require a Nomad. Like that we'll be creating. And what is the end product? Will be on AWS, will be on Google Cloud, will be on Microsoft, like that. So this is a graphical representation of this. And if you like to download the Terraform, how many platforms are there easy? Mac OS we can download for free BSD. Linux, it's a free BSD. Unix it is we can download. Normal Linux we can download. Open BSD we can take that. Solaris we can have. Still Solaris is the Linux platform. Windows platform we can download. I downloaded then Windows and I start working on it. We can work on Linux also, not a problem. Because it's like a tarball, we can pick it up and we can start work on. And if you like to have some kind of how to implement this Terraform in the cloud operations, there is a some kind of a documentations which are available on this one. So we can use it with the Terraform and an AWS we can do, and you can do it on Microsoft Azure. You can do that, and you can do it on Google Cloud also. It is possible. So it's possible for us to do on every other cloud which is available through the Terraform coding, and we can implement all our solutions, infrastructure creations. Everything is possible on Terraform. Okay, very important thing I would like to tell you about that, because we just seen something on a Terraform like Terraform Associate. There is one certification is also available, because this is gaining momentum, and it is people are looking for Terraform certified people. HashiCorp certified Terraform Associate. This is the only certificate available currently in Terraform, given by HashiCorp. Okay, what all we are going to learn from this? This Terraform Associate certification is for cloud engineers specializing in IT operations, development who know the basic concepts and skills associated with the open source HashiCorp Terraform. Definitely, we will be learning about what is the Terraform and other things. Candidates will be best prepared for this exam if they have professional experience using Terraform in production, but performing the exam objectives in a personal demo environment may also be sufficient. You don't require a live environment, because every other network service provider, every other cloud provider, they are giving some free, the free logins they are giving it. For AWS will be giving like a demo logins for 1 year. GCP will be giving 3 months. Microsoft Azure is giving 30 days evaluations like that. So we can build our own machines inside the cloud providers as well. So we can use the same, like within the same free tier operations only we can try with this Terraform. That's what being told. You don't require any production environment to work on Terraform. We can do it in a demo environment also. We can work on that, and this person understands which enterprise features exist and what can and what cannot be done using the open source offering, like that. This is the link. If you can click that, it will go to the link. It's going there. This is what the HashiCorp infrastructure automation certification. This I pick it from here only. What is the prerequisite? Basic terminal skills required, basic understanding of premises, on-premises, and the cloud architecture is required. That anyone knows that maybe. Product version tested is 0.02. We can have some 35 something is there currently going on. And preparing for the exams, like that, the exam details are here. Assessment type is a multiple choice. Definitely, you are not going to write any code over there. Duration is 1 hour. Price is $70. $70 comes in Indian rupee means 7 and 8. Maybe like 5,000 rupees. I don't know. Correct, no? 5,000, no? Maybe, I don't know. So plus totally locally applicable taxes and fees and other thing. Language is English only. Expiration is 2 years. Every 2 years, you just need to upgrade your skills on this subject like that. Somebody is chatting and yeah, hi, tell me, Mr. Smith. JSON knowledge is required. Yes, JSON knowledge is required. Definitely. Yeah, it is required. It can be gathered. It can be gathered. I'm not telling that it is very much mandatory to know that. If you know that, it is nice. Otherwise, you will learn the things also. Okay. And exam objectives are that understand the infrastructure as a code concept, understanding Terraform's purpose, understanding the Terraform basics, Terraform CLI, like when to use Terraform format, taint, import, workspace, state, other things. Interact with the Terraform modules will be seeing definitely. Navigating the Terraform workflow, write, plan, create. That's what. Init, plan, and apply. Like that. That's what. Init, validate, plan, apply, destroy. Destroying for like just removing all the infrastructure which we created on the public cloud or in private cloud. Implementing and maintaining the state. This is more important. This is more important. Not only just creating and leave it out. We just need to go and maintain it also, because we have L1, L2 people who are sitting for maintaining the entire infrastructure for us. So how do we maintain with the Terraform? It's been discussed. Read, generate, and modify the configuration. Definitely, somebody has written the code. You just take there and start modifying all these things. Then you will apply it. That's what I was telling. That GitHub, you can download all the codes. Everything is available. You don't require any training at all. I'm just telling, I'm just joking, but in the sense, like if you have the proper understanding of the cloud infrastructure, private infrastructure, VMware, and other stuff, operating systems, coding, and everything, then you just go and download and you can start modifying all these things. Else, you require proper training, because unnecessarily you may be creating a lot of resources and you leave it without noting that the services are running inside the public cloud, which may cost you heavily after 2 months, 3 months. So you require some proper training for that, so that you will understand that when to destroy it, how to destroy it, like how to create it and other things. Next, cloud and enterprise capabilities. This we will also be learning. When you come to that enterprise environment, how do you create the workspaces and all, you will learn. So this is about the certification. So people looking for a certification like that, you can just go for a certification. You can clear the certification by just reading the dumps or something. That is not a bigger problem at all. But what is the main thing is nothing but like that. We just need to learn the coding. We just need to learn about the Terraform. What Terraform will do? How do you create the code? Because when you go to the Java something like that, when you try to understand, when you try to attend the interviews or something like that, they'll ask you like whether you can create a Terraform code. Then they'll ask you to give a paper and pen like that. I just create a code and just show us. Then you will get caught. So that's a problem. So you need to learn the coding, and you just need to know about Terraform and how do you import the modules, how do you invoke all the commands inside, then how will you save it, then how will you run it, and what is IntelliJ. Like that is a very good platform. I'll show you now after this. I have a small demo. And so what do you learn? Installing and running Terraform, using the provisioners, using variables and outputs, working with the configuration files, working with providers and resources, automating infrastructure deployment, creating importing modules, CI/CD pipeline. That is nothing but continuous improvement and continuous development pipeline. Importing the data from the external sources, important. Managing state in Terraform, troubleshooting Terraform issues. These are all you will be able to learn from the Terraform Associate exam level coaching. I will provide that also, not a problem. I will be providing everything, because we've been writing a bigger codes. I'll not giving you the bigger codes. I'll be giving you smaller codes like around 10 to 15 lines. That's also very hard for the people who are starting now newly. So you can learn it. Why I'm telling that, try to learn it in the sense, because it is very much required. All the service providers and end providers, end parties, end users, and the companies, customers which they are looking for a Terraform certified, Terraform trained professionals. Like there are so many certifications of there. Ansible has got a certification, which is Red Hat is giving the Ansible certifications. Chef and Puppet and DevOps certification. Every tool has got a Kubernetes has got a certifications. Like certifications, you can keep on doing it. Once you can do the certification when companies is sponsoring you, that's not an issue. But when you try to find this exam, when you try to find the new job or something like that, you just need to go and spend yourself to clear the exams or something. So that's what. If you come to me, I will be training you properly for this Terraform, because we've been doing a lot of projects on Terraform also, Ansible also. How do you contact me? This is very important information. Please note on this number. Okay. Anyway, I will be sharing this. The recording. I just guess I have done the recording. I guess so. Yeah, it is getting recorded now. Sorry, what happened? It came to me. Sorry. I'll go back to this. Yeah, that was the last. Slide. You can just take this number, and you can contact me on WhatsApp. You can send an email on this. You can ping me on Skype. You can see my channel in YouTube. That's very important. AK Ramnath. You can just click that. You'll see all my previous videos as well. I've been working on many platforms. I put every other demo whichever I done, or if any project is I'm doing that, I'll be, weekly I will be updating my own channel. Or that you can join the Facebook also, Ramnath AK. Just come to this, and okay, let us see some what is Terraform and other things. These blah blah things are over. Okay, I will tell you something on this platform. IntelliJ. This is IntelliJ. Guess you are seeing my screen. IntelliJ. IntelliJ. This is a small software. This is an application software. This is not Terraform. Please don't mistake me. This is not Terraform. This is an application software where we will be writing the code. Okay, this is some of the code which I have already tried on this Terraform. So there is a EC2 instance I tried to create on this. So by using this AWS provider, AWS means he's a AWS provider. I'm just using the region. I just need to select the region. Then I'm going to create an instance called AWS instance. These commands can be coming up on its own. My Linux, this is the name I just given that. AMI ID which I require for that. And the instance type, it is going to be T2 micro. Count how many servers I would like to create that. And the name I would like to give Linux server, something like that. I just give. So this is a normal, like, there's a normal things which let me go back to the command line. There I will be getting into the directory where I installed the Terraform, Terraform and the projects. So these are all the projects which I created. AWS custom VPC, AWS EC2 instance, AWS S3 bucket, S3 bucket with the policy, updating the name, VPCs, custom modules, files, so many projects which I created on this. This project is like every project, whatever the code you are writing it, better you create a project. Under that, you will be putting the files on that. That will be nice. That's the way that we will be creating the projects on this. That is what been, what is a standard operating procedure, SOP. Just say that, because it is easy find out that what project you are going to do that. That project will be having the directory by the name properly. AWS S3 bucket means it will create a S3 bucket. So AWS custom VPC means it will create the VPC. Currently, I've been created these all projects for only AWS, but we can do for Azure also, we can do for GCP also. That is not a bigger problem at all. So let me try to show you one other project like AWS S3 instance, S3 bucket I will show you. Sorry, CD AWS. AWS S3 bucket. So this is the project. In this project, there is a file called s3.bucket.tf file. TF means Terraform. All the files, whichever we are writing the code on Terraform, will have the extension of .tf. It is a mandatory. You should need to follow that. Let me open that Terraform, that file on the in this one. Let me open it on IntelliJ. Open that project. It's loading. It's on F colon AWS S3 bucket. Let me open this project. It's loading the components. Where is the file? Here is the file. S3 bucket. Here it is showing. Provider is AWS. Region. Okay, region is US East 2. resource. I'm going to create the resource as AWS S3 bucket, my bucket. Let me do one thing. I'll show you this one. Provider, when I start creating the provider, it will show me the, see, it's already showing provider. And just say click yes, then it will show me the AWS or any platform it will be showing. Alibaba Cloud is there. Ali Cloud, Archive, Arcos, AV Tricks, ACL. Let me select AWS. Okay, within the braces, we will be typing that region. Region. I just need to specify the region, which region I would like to work on the public cloud. So that's all over. Now I selected the provider. Getting me? Now I selected the provider. Now what I need to do after setting the provider, after selecting the region, I'll be selecting the resource. What resource I am going to create it. Okay, resource in the sense like I will type the resource, it will immediately come to me. What resource I am going to create? AWS S3 bucket. You can just see the selections which are coming. Instance, what you want to create? Instance means easy to. Server you would like to create, S3 bucket you would like to create, queue, XQS, routing table, subnet, internet gateway, VPC. Everything will be coming up. Keep on coming. You can just go through this. Down key will show you all the selections. There is no end to it. That many resources are available on AWS. Every resource you will be getting on this. So that's what I was telling, that very easy for us to do. Okay. It gone. I'll be creating the AWS S3 bucket. So where is it? S3 bucket. It's gone. 3 bucket object. AWS S3 bucket. Like that I can create. Let me type as it is. AWS S3 bucket. It is. I just say enter. That's it. Then I just need to give a name here, like my bucket. I just any name you can give it. No problems. Means like this is not the bucket name. This is an identifier in the Terraform. Here the resource, the name, proper name which will be get created on the AWS side will be shown. I just need to type bucket. No need to touch anything. So it is giving the always the suggestions which are giving. This you can just see one bulb is showing. That bulb will be showing that click, press, or so many like some suggestions will all given for this. I'll be creating test bucket. Let me try it like this. Demo bucket. S3. And what is the date today? It is 01 November 2020. That's all. The job is over. Now I just need to run this. While I'm running it, I just need to run it with the init command. Then I have to go with the plan command. Then I'll have to go with the, like what is that? Apply command. Once I'm saying apply, then it's been over. Let me remove this. It's not required for me. Okay. Let me save this. Save all. I'll go back to the. You can ask me that can't I run the code from here? I can run the code from here, but actually, whenever the errors which are throwing, like it will not be so easy to understand that. Better we will be running that in the command line itself. This is a Windows platform. There is no need of like you required to be on the Linux to run this Terraform. No way. You can run it from the this also like. So now I will do Terraform init. This command is very much required for any project to get executed first. The first step is in the Terraform is like we need to say Terraform init. When I'm saying Terraform init, someone is joining. Okay. When I say Terraform init, it will be downloading the latest API or necessary modules and informations from the AWS, because this project is under the AWS only I'm creating. So it will be picking up from the AWS. I just say enter. Terraform init. We require the internet connection. Okay, because we are working on a public platform. We require internet connection for to run this code. When you are doing it with the AWS, if you are doing it with the local VMware, no, not required. So this see, initializing the backend, provider plugins. This is a version is 3.12.0. That is HashiCorp/AWS. This is what has been successfully initialized. There is no problems. I find that. Then you may begin now with working with the Terraform. Try running Terraform plan to see any changes that are required for your infrastructure. All Terraform commands should now work, means it is tested. If you ever set or change modules or backend configuration for Terraform, rerun this command to reinitialize your working directory. If you forget, other commands will detect it and remind you to do so if necessary. These are all like some information they are giving it. But here, this line is very important for us. Terraform has been successfully initialized. Then we can go ahead and do all these things. Terraform plan. Let me do Terraform plan. This is the way of doing the steps properly. Refreshed state will be now used to calculate this plan, but will not be persisted to local or remote state storage. This is what is the line is saying, like this is not going to create anything on that because we are just doing the planning only. It is a dry run, which I was explained to you earlier. This is a dry run. What this dry run will say, this is going to say plus create in the sense it is going to create a resource. What resource is going to create? It is going to create a resource as a bucket. AWS S3 bucket will be created. You just see this bucket will be created. And what is the name of the bucket? This is the name of the bucket is test bucket Terra 26 October, which I were trying for this. And the host zone, ID, region, everything will be known after applying only. Okay, and versioning is enabled. People who are working on S3 bucket knowing about the versioning. So now I just say there is a notice there. You didn't specify an out parameter to save this plan. So Terraform cannot guarantee the exact these actions will be performed if you do Terraform apply. Not required at all. That is for a very higher configurations and all we will be going for out. Now I can just go ahead and start doing Terraform. Spelling mistake. Terraform apply. When I am running this command Terraform apply, this is going to impact the existing buckets, or it is going to create a new bucket, or it is going to manage the bucket or something. Whatever the impact which is going to happen when I am running the Terraform apply command only. When I am running the init command, it will not happen. When I am running the plan command, it will not happen. When I am running the apply command only, things will be happening. So I'll just say Terraform apply. Now it is going to apply. Means this is going to log into my own account on AWS and it will create a bucket for me named, what is the bucket name? Test bucket Terra, and it will be creating it under which region, whichever I specified, like that. So now it is saying plan. Plan is like 1 to add. 1 bucket is going to get created. 0 to change. It's not going to change any. It's not going to destroying any. Destroying is nothing but removing it. So do you want to perform this action? Still it is asking the confirmation from us. Terraform will perform the actions described above. Only yes will be accepted for to approve. If you say no, it will come out. If I'm saying no, it come out. Apply cancel. It's saying apply cancel. So after this, I don't need to plan it again. I don't need to initiate again. I can just say apply only. No need to do the initializing again. Now it will again ask me the confirmation whether I can go ahead and create the bucket or not. Now I say yes. When I am saying yes, somebody is joining. When I am saying yes, this will be creating the bucket. See that it's saying creating. Let me go to my AWS account. I will log into my AWS account. So it will be easy for us to see whether it's creating or not. Still creating, 10-second elapsed, 20-second elapsed. You don't need to log into your console for this to get executed. Not required at all. Okay, it is not required at all. It's still creating. Maybe due to my link problems, or it may be checking the availability of this bucket name and other things. 40-second elapsed. It will create. See that now it has been done. Creation complete after 47 seconds. Within 47 seconds, my bucket has been created. ID, what is the ID? Test bucket Terra 26 October 2020. Apply complete. 1 added, 0 changed, 0 destroyed. Means our bucket has been created in the AWS platform. Let me log into my account. Just the link is slow from my side, maybe. Gotcha. I want to log into the account here. Let me go again back. AWS is my account. Let me go to the management console. AWS services. Sign in. This is my free account which I created earlier, and this is my password. I'm logging into the AWS cloud now. As a root user, I'm logging in. It's just refreshing now. After this logging in, I'll go back to the directly onto the S3 buckets region. I'll go to this S3. S3 means simple storage service. I will verify whether the S3 bucket has been created or not. It's created. See the test bucket, the name, same name. See this. This is the bucket. So objects are nothing. Properties I can just see. Versioning and other things are like that. Okay. Permissions. It can be public, metrics, management, access policies. Everything is. It is created on the same region which I given that US East 2. Got it? This is my code. In my code, I'm just saying that US East 2 is required. So it is created on the same region with the same name. It has been created. So no worries, the bucket has been created now. So this is a small example which I shown you. Like that, you can create number of machines, number of buckets, number of databases, any number of databases you can create. Number in the sense, like if I would like to create 10 buckets in the sense, I'll give the command call count to 10. Then it will be creating the 10 buckets in 47 seconds. not in 47 seconds. Maybe it may take some more time also. Okay, now there is a one bucket is there. If I would like to remove this bucket, I don't want this anymore. Like that, I'll just go for Terraform destroy. Destroying is nothing but removing everything, completely removing. You will not be able to get it back again. So there is no way back to go back again and saying canceling no. So Terraform, but it will also ask me the confirmation whether I can destroy or not. I will just say yes for that. Refreshing state. Unable to see the screen. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sharing again. Can you see that now? Can you see it now? Oh, okay. Thank you. I guess maybe like sharing was stopped. Okay, now what I run this, let me show you that bucket was created. You can just see that some people are waiting, I guess. Admit all. Okay, I admitted them. Okay, now. Okay, the bucket was created as it is the, like whenever I created that, it's a bucket was created on this. So test bucket Terra 26 2020 something was created on this. After that, I just verified that what is that. Wanted to see the objects and parameters and properties of these permissions and metrics and other things. This is definitely the same one because how we are creating the S3 bucket on the AWS platform, the same way it has been created also. So now I come back to this and I wanted to what I wanted to do. I just say, so now I am going to destroy this. Destroy this in the sense I am going to remove this everything on this. I do not want anything more. I would like to remove it, and I am saying no. Now I am going to destroy this. Means deleting the entire bucket information, whatever I created on that AWS console. So now it is saying refreshing the state. Test bucket Terra 26 2020. It is getting deleted. Let us wait for some time because it may take some time because it will look for all the permissions and other things whether I am supposed to delete or not. So now let me explain this. So minus destroy. This is going to get destroyed. Execution plan has generated and is shown below. Destroying, what is it? AWS S3 bucket will be destroyed, right? What is the bucket name? This is what AWS, sorry, what is that? Test bucket 2620, so that is there. And ID, region, everything is there. Bucket owner, I am the bucket owner because I created that. And tags are nothing is there. Versioning is false. Like, what is it saying? Plan 0 to add, nothing to add, nothing to change, 1 to destroy because I given the command called destroy. So now I will say yes. After saying yes and enter, there is no way back. You go back again and find out the bucket again. You cannot recollect the bucket again back. So I'm just saying yes. That's it. Finish. Now the job will be done on its own time. Maybe like some around 40-50 seconds it may take. Not even that. 1 second it took. Execution complete. Destruction complete. I will go back again to this Amazon S3. Then I will just say refreshing this. No buckets, all gone. So simple, no? Creating a bucket. Like that, I have so many projects which I have created. Like this, we can keep on having this all the projects. Like every project has its own coding. Let me show you here. I will open that another project. This is EC2 machine I will show. EC2 means it is nothing but the, what is that? EC2 instance installations, EC2 instance creation. So now I am provider is AWS only. It's in the same US East 2 region. Security group I am creating so that I need to log into that server. 22 is for SSH connection, 80 for web server connection. This is the very important lines, resources. I'm creating the AWS instance, like just a name I given it here. AMI ID, I just need to pick it up from the AWS console. I need this AMI ID. Using this Amazon machine image only, I'll be creating the server. The instance type is T2 micro. This is the hardware box which I'm selecting. Key name, which I have the key because I need to log into that server, so I require a key for that. This key I already created. I'm using my own existing key. VPC security group ID. This is the security group which is created. I'm giving the ID for that. Tags. What will be the name for the server? Terra Linux 1. I'll just create. When I'm running this code, this will be creating one EC2 instance, Linux instance with this specifications, and it will create the security group also so that I can able to log into that server. And it will be creating a lot of other things for me also, like public IP it will create, security group it will create, and outgoing access list will get created. So many internal things will get created. I'm just saying only 2 to 3 like informations only here. Like that, I'll be keep on creating multiple projects as well. Let me show you some other project. And okay, this is a VPC creation. You may be knowing about what is VPC. VPC means the virtual private cloud we are creating our own private cloud inside the public cloud. That is a VPC. Like so many projects which I have created for this demo purpose only. I will be taking all these projects for you, and I will ask you to write the code also by using the GitHub already ready code, the Terraform IO. That let me show you that side also. So you will get informations about that terraform.io. Go to the site. It is completely free. Completely free. Use infrastructure as a code to provision many cloud infrastructure and service. This is a cloud platform. Let me show you the CLI platform here. So this is the TLI platforms, Terraform init, it's running. Terraform plan, that's what I was running there. Then Terraform apply. That's it. This, yes, I'm creating it. Means this is actually running in the site. Okay, I'm not running. Okay. Okay, deliver infrastructure as a code with the Terraform. Like that. It's it. And plan and predict the things. Create reproducible infrastructure. We can keep on doing other things. Like with all the providers. You can just see view all the providers. Coming up loading, this is the provider. This from here only I picked up all these things. See, Active Directory, Azure Stack, Cloud Init, external, console, boundary, archive, Azure Directory, Cisco ASA, firewall, it is there. Kubernetes, Helm, Oracle Public Cloud, Terraform Cloud, Ball, TLS. What is not there? Verified providers. You just see Big IP, Aviatrix, Akamai. Akamai is a big data center people they're having. And Confcat. It's like this is the 482 providers are there. You can just keep on surfing to the next slide. It'll keep on giving you there. MongoDB. I seen somewhere MongoDB. Okay, everyone is there. So there is no packet. Panos. It's a Palo Alto. So what is not there? Everybody is coming to the Terraform. So you also come, learn, and be ready for your company when it is going for the Terraform implementations. You will be ready for that. Or even you can start the Terraform implementations in your cloud, in your own company, definitely. Splunk is also there. Azure DevOps, Baidu Cloud. See, Ansible also can be automated. automating the automating platform like that. Okay, so we have seen so many things now today, and as usual, I am open for the questions from your side. If you like to ask any questions, you can ask me. I am opening to the chat, or you can just ask me any questions if you want. You can unmute your phone and you can ask me any questions to me. I will be answering you, no problems at all. Throw any simple questions or silly questions, not a problem, because everyone is new to this platform. So please ask me any questions if you have in your mind. Anyone?
Hi, Ramnath Swapnil here.
Yeah, okay.
I just have a question that this Terraform, does it require like server knowledge or anything like that?
See, what I say, this Terraform is nothing but a code we are writing it. Code in the sense it requires some basic knowledge about the operating systems, servers, databases, or whatever the platform you are currently working on. Maybe you are a database engineer, or maybe you are a server engineer, system admin, or you are a network admin. Like that, you just need to have some understanding on the your own platform, your own domain, so that you can start writing the code for the domain. Correct? No? If I'm asking a database guy to write a code for networking side, means he will not be. Prerequisite in the sense he
Right.
requires domain knowledge so that he can create the code for in the Terraform for that.
You're sharing this recording, right?
Yeah, I have the recording. I will give you the recording. No problems. I'll share it to you. All
Right.
any questions, please? Any other questions from anyone else? Ask me, no problem. See, this is a very new platform and a new software. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I'm ready to answer you. Don't worry. I will answer any simple questions or any even very much technical questions also you can ask me, so I can answer that, or I can at least I can try that to answer. Ask me. Hello. Anyone else? So prerequisites, that's what I was telling. Prerequisite to learn the Terraform is like domain knowledge is required. Whatever the domain you are working on, either you are a supporting guy, or you are a programmer, or you are a database admin, or you are a system admin, or you are a Linux guy, or a Windows guy, or you are a network Cisco platform or load balancer platforms or firewall guy, whoever it may be, or when you are working on a cloud platform like cloud management, you are doing that. So those knowledge is a little bit of required. It's required. Like if you have done some RSC, Red Hat certification, or you have done some kind of Microsoft certifications, you're working on a Windows Server for the last 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, something like. So some basic knowledge is required for you to understand what Terraform can do. Like that. Terraform will not do any wonder. It will not do any magic because it requires you to come with the proper knowledge so that you will create the code in Terraform to perform such an operations. For your daily day-to-day operation only Terraform is going to do. It is going to automate. It is going to ease the things for you. Like instead of creating the 10 servers by in your hand by go and click on every multiple options, better you can write just as like a one code. You can run it on. So that knowledge is very much required for you. Okay. Any other questions from your side? You can note down my number and my email address. And moreover, I will expect you to give your email addresses or phone numbers so that I can contact you about the course details and other things. I will not bug you. Don't worry. I will not sending 1,000 mails to you or 1,000 times I'll call you or something. Nowhere. I'll be giving you the information about this, and I would like to share this recording and this PPT to you people. So please give me your email address and phone numbers in the chat. Zoom chat, I can give it directly. Please give your email and phone numbers. Give it to me. Hello. Nobody. I'll send you this information, no, because I need to send you this files, recordings.
Yeah, already shared my email address in previous sessions.
Okay, but for this session, I require, please give it.
Okay.
Because I have some multiple things. Maybe I will, I may forget to send you. Please give my email address also, please. Everyone, please. Everyone can give it. Hello, who all there? I see so many people are there in the chat, so you can give it to me. Sapnil has given, Pramod has given, very good, nice. And Bala has given, Jeshwarya, okay. Please give it only email. Email address is enough. Nothing. You can give it to me privately. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, you can give it to me privately. No issues. It will not be shared to anyone else. Give me that, please. I guess see around 4, 5 are come. So three or four more is pending, I guess. Please give it. Or I will be sharing this one. Yeah, you can give the number also. No issues. Sir, I'll be sharing this one. Once I upload it to the Google Drive, I'll give the link to you. People can request also like to download all the terrain, all the recordings as well as the PPT also. Okay. So any more questions? Please ask me. Nobody is asking me any question. That's why I'm wondering. Earlier sessions I seen many people are asking something. So, okay.
Hi, this is Suresh.
Ah,
I'm already started working on Terraform. I
very
just,
good. Very good.
I mean, basics only I know.
Hmm.
Like what happens, like if you remove the state file, like normally when you initialize it, checks the existing infrastructure and create a temporary file so that it can keep a track of the deployment changes and everything,
Ah,
right?
okay.
So now say you deployed the code and everything, and it created some platform like S3 bucket for you, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And uh, you didn't destroy it, but you actually deleted the file which keeps a track of that one. Okay.
Okay.
Now when you deleted the file, the system doesn't know that the S3 bucket is already deployed,
No, no,
right?
no.
Because the
Yeah,
code
that
has not
is,
changed.
you're asking about the state, remote state or local state, something like that. But even though if you remove the
Local,
state
yeah.
or something like that, it is automatically
Uh-huh.
generated. But even though if you remove that, when you try to implement it again by the command like saying Terraform apply or something within the same project or something, it'll go and
Mhm.
find out that whether the bucket is still there with the same name or something. Then it will come out automatically. It will not allow you to do that. I've seen it many
So
times. It gives us
so
like
it
that
will
protection is always
so
there.
it will again check the existing infrastructure and
Of
check
course,
whether
yes.
this bucket
Of
is
course,
already
yes.
there or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
State file, actually the state file is been used for the team creations. Like whenever the team of people are working in some different locations, the people who doesn't know that whether the particular bucket is existing or not, they are quite lazy to go and check it out because there will be thousands of bucket will be created and kept. So the state file will be very much in handy when it comes like a remote state where very much is the remote state will be finding out that whether it has been created or not. That will not give the error. It will not do anything and it will come out automatically. Silently it will come out saying that it has already been there. Or if the state file has been removed, then it will say that the bucket is already name is existing. Somebody is the owner like that. It will say. It has also been there. That protection is there. Yeah, it's a good question you ask. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, any other questions from your side, please? You can ask me. So silence. So I guess all are given the mail address. I guess so. Let me see that because it is already 1 hour. Yeah, there is no problem in Zoom, but still people are very much silent in the sense I can go ahead and finish this meeting. Or if you have any questions, you can tell me again. You can ask me. Even after this demo also, I'll be sharing these links to you. If you have any questions, you can call me, or you can chat with me, or you can just mail me. No problems. I'm very much ready to answer you. And I'll be giving this training. Maybe like I just need to take up this training for maybe like 2 weeks. Minimum 2 weeks is required because for Terraform need to be applied on AWS, or then it has to be applied on Azure also, then GCP also. I expect the people come with the cloud knowledge. If it is not there, okay, I will just give some things. Maybe like at least 15 days required for this training to get finished. Because if you are coming with the proper knowledge or something on the clouds, maybe 10 days is enough for us to complete in all the 3 cloud platforms. If you are not having it, maybe like 5 more days it may take because we need to create account, free account, and other things. Then we will be, I will be teaching about the Terraform to apply other things. We can see that. So 15 days maximum, I can go with this session because it is nothing there as such much we can do on this. Because writing the code only. Once you get the idea like how to create a code or something, because it's IntelliJ, I'll tell you how to create the IntelliJ and other things, projects and other things. So once you got the idea, you will be able to create on your own. And there are a lot of thousands of projects which are loaded on the GitHub site, so you can download and you can do all the you can modify and everything. But there is a little bit of effort is required from your side to modify the scripts. Else you can write on your own scripts itself. There are so many ideas which are given in the Terraform itself. As of Terraform doesn't provide any kind of book or something like that PDF or anything, but there is tons of documents are which are available on the terraform.io site, doc site. Each and every platform they are giving it like AWS platform, Google Cloud platform, Azure platform, every other platform. If you have any doubts on any other platform which is not listed on it, better you can talk to that vendor directly. Say for example, I just say FI load balancer is there. If you like to automate something on FI load balancer, you don't find any documents on Terraform side, you can directly talk to the FI guys. They will be giving you whether it is possible to run or not, something like that. They'll just give you. So then you can implement the projects on Terraform. Like So a little bit of work, homework also has to be done from our side to implement new projects on new platforms as well. New platform in the sense provider I'm talking, not the Terraform. Terraform is ready. Terraform is an open source. We can implement anything on this. Else you may have to sit and write all the codes for you. If you are good in API programming or if you are good in the coding on something like that, you can create on your own code or something. But that will be very far because we are all coming from the support or maintenance platform or something. So it's very hard for us to write any code or something. But as far as from my side, I can just say I'm not a coding guy, but I started coding this much because of that very much easiness which is there in Ansible also, Terraform also, luckily. So that's why we are able to catch up so easily. 1 week is enough for you to catch up this. I'm definitely challenging you. Within a week, you can learn the Terraform. That's not a problem at all. So I guess people have given some mail addresses and other things. So let me end of this meeting. Thanks for joining. Thanks all for joining. Thank you all, and I'll be closing this meeting. Get back to me on. Thanks for joining. Get back to me on my mail address and get back to me on my phone number, chatting and everything. You can send me on this. You can check my YouTube channel and you can subscribe it also. Like new videos will be posted on every week. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye.